What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we have a ton of very important things to discuss. Obviously, we're going to be looking at the cryptocurrencies as usual, XLM, XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, if we have time, the S&P 500. Specifically, in today's episode, we do have to talk about some very crazy things that are going on. As you guys remember, the past couple of videos we've been putting out on YouTube have been in reference to the fact that the markets were priming for some big explosion to happen. It seems like just this morning, we've decided to figure out which direction that's going to be moving to. We broke through some very vital support levels in pretty much all the major cryptocurrencies, and ultimately this led to a very big short opportunity that hopefully you guys took advantage of. We're going to be talking about this in today's episode, so definitely make sure to follow through and watch the video to the end, as it is definitely very important and very interesting to figure out and understand, as this was something we have been tracking for quite some time now, finding the key point of breakout, which we did, and once we saw confirmation of a breach of either the top resistance, the price ceiling, or the price floor, we knew to either buy in for a leverage to the upside or buy in for a leverage to a short position to the downside. Obviously, our short positions filled, and we are now currently making just a couple $100. We'll see in today's video whether or not we're going to be moving our stop losses lower, or are we going to see a reversal to the upside. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, as this does help support the YouTube algorithm. And let's jump right into today's episode. Alright guys, before we jump into the technical analysis, I want to give a huge shout out to FreeLiquid for sponsoring today's episode. Basically, FreeLiquid is a decentralized lending platform that offers loans in USDFL, a native FreeLiquid stablecoin soft pegged to $1. The main advantage of FreeLiquid is the support of Uniswap liquidity stablecoin pools as collateral for borrowing. I decided to figure out how to earn money with liquid pools on FreeLiquid's platform. I'm also going to show you how I've been managing it in future episodes. So as you guys can see, as I'm going to show on the screen, basically how exactly I was able to convert my USDT and my Ethereum onto MetaMask and then depositing this into the stablecoin pool itself. And as I show you guys this, I just want to read you a little bit about what FreeLiquid offers and how it basically works. So basically, users can lock their liquidity provider tokens through a smart contract of the FreeLiquid protocol and borrow up to 90% of the initial pool value. The USDFL are issued instantly and transferred to the user's personal wallet. To return their liquidity tokens, users simply have to cover a part or the whole of the outstanding USDFL debt. So basically what the advantages are is that liquidity providers can keep their passive income from Uniswap fees and simultaneously receive funding in USD stablecoins for further use. There is no risk of liquidation since the price of stablecoins remains almost the same pretty much. And also the FreeLiquid governance token, FL, is distributed in a fair and uniform manner through several reward programs. The rewards are distributed among users that help the development of FreeLiquid ecosystem, for example, by providing liquidity to FL and USDFL pairs. The project is constantly growing too. More liquidity pairs and platforms like, for example, Curve Finance and Mooniswap is also something that can be added in the future. Also, basically, is FreeLiquid safe? This is a question that gets answered, or a question that gets asked quite a bit. As mentioned above, FreeLiquid is a fork of MakerDAO, a platform that has been on the market since at least 2017. To their knowledge, there have been no major breaches of MakerDAO, with smart contracts being pretty straightforward. Again, since liquidation is turned off, there are no consequences of sudden market crashes like in March of 2020 with the other cryptocurrencies. Also, the platform is completely decentralized, anonymous, and accessible only by a personal Ethereum wallet. FreeLiquid does not require and does not store any user data. FreeLiquid has been recently audited by Baosin Blockchain Security, one of the leading auditing companies on the crypto market. FreeLiquid successfully passed all audit items. The report can be downloaded at the following link in the description. No centralized authority that can change the rules, the governance administered through token voting. The developer team can implicate only the approved changes. More info about the launch announcement, FreeLiquid tutorial, FL reward distribution will all be linked in the description. In future videos, I will be showing you how my FreeLiquid pool has been working and the income I've generated from it. So definitely make sure to watch the next releases of FreeLiquid to definitely stay updated and up to date in regards to how much income I've earned and how well the website has paid out. Otherwise, let's jump into the technical analysis. All right, guys, so I want to talk about a few things now that we are focusing on the technical analysis. So I want to move into what appears to be this article I have here, and this video probably will run long, and I think that's fine. There's definitely a ton of information that's jam-packed into here that we really have to discuss. Obviously, the technical analysis will be after this, but I think this is very interesting and has a lot of dependency on where this market could be moving to. So look at this article. We talked about this yesterday. The bit short inside crypto's doomsday machine. This basically talked about the prologue of Tether and company, the trade, the hodl of 2020, and then basically the shock. This shows you guys where money is flowing from and then to Bitcoin in the last 24 hours. So you can see mainly Tether is what's moving into Bitcoin. It's not US dollar. It's not anything else. I mean, there's small amounts of US dollar, Japanese yen, and things of that nature moving into the market, but it's mainly just Tether, and that's what we have to focus on. The fact that it's just Tether that's pumping into this market is very interesting. Then once it's in Bitcoin, where does it go? Majority of it, which is all of this, is getting then pumped into Ethereum, Binance USD. So it's showing that this could be reason to believe that the alts could be pumping very soon. So it's showing you guys money to Ethereum, things like that, where Ethereum is moving back into, and it's a very interesting thing. It says right here, this worried me. Most of my wealth was exposed in the form of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin seemed like it might be exposed to Tether. And Tether issuing company was under active investigation. I urgently needed to find out if this risk was real. And they basically go into discussion more on Tether, things of that nature. So it's a very interesting article. And if you guys were interested in this, definitely comment below and I can tag you in it below. But otherwise, if you really just look up the bit short inside crypto's doomsday machine, you can see on Crypto Anonymous what exactly this article is about more in depth. But to jump right into the technical analysis, you guys can see out of the top 10 cryptocurrencies, everything is in red. It's definitely a bloody day, especially. Very interesting to see how everything is correlating with each other. The stock markets are up. The market is up. What's interesting, we haven't opened just yet today, but as of last night closing, we were higher than where we opened from. But all these cryptocurrencies as of today are all red. Everything's red. Everything's in panic. It's very interesting to see this too. Granted, today is the inauguration. So we'll see if that has any relevance in the sort to the way this market is trending right now. But you can see with everything being very red, it's interesting to see how this applies itself. You can see where these points of breakout are on our technical analysis and our patterns. So we discussed in grave detail yesterday, the day before, days after that. I'd say the past week of videos right now, which is about 6 or 7 videos, we've been talking about a potential pop in XLM. As you guys discussed, we were starting to look at this coin. You guys told me to look at it, so I decided to. And I noticed there was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful symmetrical triangle forming. And there was a point of contact where obviously filling the gap would end, and we would have to decide which direction we're planning on moving to. Either the bulls break us to the upside or the bears correct us lower. Also, if you haven't noticed, I'm now talking directly to the camera instead of looking over to my laptop because I moved it in front of me. So hopefully that helps. But you can see we saw a beautiful correction to the downside. And I'm really not worried at all because this was planned and this was coordinated and we've discussed this for a very long time. Now, obviously, I talk about the possibilities of a bullish break to the upside. If we break through some key resistances in the market, we'll see a swing to the upside. It'll be very nice. We also talked about, obviously, the possibilities of correction and possibilities of seeing a reversal. We discussed there was clear resistance closer to, 31 cents, and then we discussed 31 cents was where the resistance was on XLM Stellar Lumens. And we said if at any point we see a candle close, we were referring to the daily, but we can talk about the 4-hour too, a candle close below our prior support, our prior price floor, there was a good chance a short opportunity was going to open up. Now, extending our reach to the daily, you can see what it is that's happened. Yesterday closed in the most perfect spot. Where did we close to? We closed below the resistance, or we closed below the support, and that's huge. I don't know why this won't let me zoom in. It's very irritating. But you can see right here, we closed below our uptrend here, our key vital uptrend, which means today's candle opened at the bottom, and we've basically been correcting lower. Where and how long could we go to? I mean, honestly, with XLM, it's based off the price and the percentage gain of the mouth of the symmetrical triangle. And with that knowledge, there's really not much support here. We could see a correction all the way back down. The interesting thing is there is a very small support right at where the coin is hanging out right now. So it'd be very interesting to see whether or not we're going to fall lower. Notice where that support also intertwines is right at the 4-hour movement here. So we're going to see whether or not we break below here. Obviously, there's a short position right now. Hopefully, you guys took advantage of this. I did move my stop loss slightly lower, basically to get my buy-in out, to basically allow me to either break even or make profit. But now that the market's shorting, we have to move the stop losses down and just be patient. We finally bought into the coin. We're ready now to see where this market's going to be going to. So we have our position in. Our position is very good. It's clear right below this resistance, this support that we discussed at 30 cents, and we shorted the market down. So we can easily move the stop loss down to, I'd say, 29 cents just to get some gain in and just to cover ourselves from breaking even. And now we have a few things. Either the market's going to bounce off this support, which is a beautiful support, and we're going to retest my stop loss, and it's going to sell me out, liquidate me out, and I'm going to get some profit, very small amount. Or the market is going to breach through this 4-hour chart, and we are going to head much lower, which appears like what it wants to do. It appears like it's going to continue to head lower. And then we can easily just continue to move the stop loss lower and lower and lower and capitalize off the profit. Reason being is this is a huge opening and a huge spike that the coin had. Granted, we are still, pretty much trading, if you look at the 4-hour, in between the biggest channel here. So everything really relies on this bottom support. There's still a massive opportunity that it could easily bounce off this and head up higher. It is very possible. Or it could easily correct down here. So support has now moved to here. This is clear resistance. If we breach through this, we breach through this moving average right here, expect to see a very big tumble. Otherwise, we'll bounce off of here. And we got a small short opportunity, and it'll hit our stop loss, we'll get a little profit, and we'll be okay. But otherwise, you can clearly see where this resistance lies, and that's something we do have to focus on very heavily, if you ask me. So definitely don't blindly be buying in right now. If you have yet to buy into Stellar Lumens, basically the opportunity you have is to see where this coin decides to go to. If it decides to swing back up lower, I wouldn't buy in just yet. Or if it decides to break this bottom support, if we break this red moving average right here, we break below, I would say the price is 26 cents. If we break below 26 cents, close even a 4-hour candle below 26 cents, expect to see a big drop on the 4-hour and a big drop on the daily. Otherwise, if we see that we start to correct up higher, don't risk it. Don't be a impatient buyer. Don't FOMO in. Just be patient and wait for the right opportunity. Now, off topic, you can see now XRP is clearly hitting resistance at 30 cents. It's mainly just consolidating. It's becoming a fairly more difficult coin to graph as consolidation has basically taken over this coin. It is becoming really difficult to figure out the patterns and where the coin wants to move to. So I've slowly focused away from XRP, focused more on XLM as this was easier to graph, and then some of the other cryptocurrencies. A huge telltale sign that this is a problem for us is that Ethereum just got rejected from its prior all-time high. Granted, yes, we did have all-time highs pretty much right at the coin, and yes, we did just set an all-time high ever so slightly higher, maybe $4 or $10 higher, but you can see that this is a clear-cut resistance, and the coin does not want to breach above that, and that's huge, and that might cause us to spiral down. Granted, as you guys know, in the markets, we've seen tons and tons and tons of cryptocurrencies drop. Bitcoin has seen massive plummets to the downside over and over and over again. Bitcoin easily goes from $10 to $1,000, then or $10 to $50, back down to $3. Then it goes from $1,000 to $12,000 and then back down to $4,000. Then we go from $6,000 all the way up to $20,000 and then back down to, $4,000. And now we're hitting $40,000. You'd be a fool to think we're not going to head back down. And with that comes the other cryptocurrencies correcting too. And it's just around the corner, so definitely be patient. Same thing applies with Bitcoin. For the first time in a very long time, Bitcoin actually managed to breach below its moving average here, its supportive uptrend. It was recovered, by this right here, by the the moving average, the 4 hour. But if this holds true and this is still a bearish divergence, we could very well see this coin plummet much lower very quickly, and this would be a huge short opportunity. So there's a clear-cut resistance that I've drawn here at $33,000, $33,142. Reason I have this here is it's below the 4 hour moving average, and this could indicate a big correction to the downside, a big reversal to the downside if we breach through there. Where would we fall to? Easily back down to retesting bottom support, which I would say is right around $29,900, or all the way back down to 23. There's huge opportunities to see this short, and it's just around the corner. So we are playing with fire here, guys. You have to be very careful. Otherwise, Litecoin fell back down all the way down to its moving average. You can see a lot of these cryptos are just dropping. So it's a very interesting market to be playing around with. Otherwise, S&P 500 bounced beautifully off bottom support, headed up higher. But otherwise, it's pretty much going to wrap up the market technical analysis. Hopefully that explains everything to you guys. Once again, huge shout out to FreeLiquid for sponsoring today's episode. Like I said, and I guess just to summarize everything, we're seeing a lot of resistance. We're seeing a lot of bearish trends. You have to understand we are extremely high up in the market right now. We are hitting prices we have never seen before, all-time highs. Remember, coins like this, year after year after year, have seen massive, devastating corrections to the downside. It is foolish to be putting in money, substantial amounts of money, in a price where Bitcoin is literally almost at $40,000, even at $33,000. That is insane. And it doesn't make sense to be buying in now. There were massive opportunities before, back when it was 6,000, back when it was 10,000, and there will be plenty of opportunities later. So don't be foolish and don't invest now with money you can't afford to lose. It doesn't make sense. We're doing this get in and get out real quick. We're having fun, and I'm explaining how I do my technical analysis. If you guys are not interested in it, there are plenty of other YouTubers that do it differently, but that's the message I have to tell you guys. Markets are looking fairly bearish. Yes, we're coming down to some very vital supports. We're still fairly overextended. Stellar Lumens had a symmetrical triangle. It's now breaking bearish. It's correcting back down to its 4-hour support. Now we have to see whether or not it's going to hold out here or if it's going to correct even lower. This is support areas. We're waiting for a big movement that's predictable. If it breaches through the 4-hour charts, the 4-hour moving average, it's predictable that the drop will be very substantial. The same thing applies itself with XRP. XRP on the daily doesn't look too good. On the 4-hour, it also doesn't look too good. It's having problems breaking through its 4-hour moving average. So we'll see. If we breach through resistances of 25, it's almost guaranteed we're going to fall down to 22. That's a short opportunity. Ethereum, same thing. If it breaches below $1,200, there's a good opportunity. It's going to short all the way back down to $1,100. Bitcoin, if it breaches its $33,000 support level, it's going to see a big correction back down to the downside, easily falling to what I would consider closer to $29,000. There will be closer to about a $4,000 short. That's big money. Same thing applies itself with Litecoin. All these coins have huge opportunities to short. If Litecoin decides to breach through its moving average here at $142 and we close below it, good chance it's going to fall down to $120. Other huge short opportunity. So they're all over the markets, guys. They're all over. They're everywhere. If you're planning on investing for the long term, definitely consider having a retirement fund as an option. Obviously, speak to a financial advisor about it first. But that's what I did. I have a Roth IRA retirement fund that I've set up that I put in, and this is me holding long term. This is me holding for 30 years. It's not for 2 years. As for cryptocurrency, yeah, hold a little bit in a wallet, that's fine, but you can't be so emotionally attached. Otherwise, guys, it's pretty much going to wrap up the video. Definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up as this does help support the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.